and warned the U.S. to back off.
Well, here we are, 10 years later.
The White House has now released
I'm
photos
watching
of
the
the tense
news
moments as
about,
President Obama
yeah,
walked
it's just
through
a
the
little
rain
after
on
5
film in
o'clock
real
p.m.
time.
here in Portland.
CIA Chief
And
Leon
I'm watching
Panetta
this
said
thing about
they had
Osama
almost
getting
60
killed and everything.
percent sure Bin Laden was
And
inside
the
the
guy
compound
was like,
in a
you know, this is a few
well-marked
miles
camp.
from Islamabad,
Looking ahead, Panetta told
the
NBC's
capital.
Brian Williams,
He was like
America
2 miles
must
from their,
remain
less than a
vigilant.
couple miles from their military academy.
And that means
You
President
know,
Obama
come on,
has to
man.
work with Pakistan.
They knew he was
According to New
there.
York Times Magazine,
And
CIA Chief Panetta said they are now mining a quote
now that he's
intelligence
dead,
data stats they gathered from the compound.
this truly is
Brian
mission
Williams
accomplished,
interview with
right?
Leon
Like
Panetta
W said,
coming up on NBC Nightly News
who
on
actually
Monday.
hadn't accomplished his mission, not even close. But you know him, he was, you know how he was. Anyway. And the Republicans even are giving him credit. Bush, yeah, I just love it. These guys kill me, man. Ooh, he's got a gruesome head wound. Looks like we buried him at sea. The SEALs did, no doubt. But I think the photos should be released. That's my opinion. They're asking that question in most of the news programs all around the nation. And, of course, each local station is going to have their local ex-Navy SEAL to give them a little rundown on what the SEALs is like. Oh, we know. We don't know, and we know. We know because we don't know. We don't want to know what they're like. We don't want to know what they do. We don't want to know what their job is. That's the kind of thing that you really keep to yourself. WikiLeaks doesn't talk about that kind of stuff. Neither does anybody else. Oh, now we got a guy going, uh-oh, this is going to cause more damage because there's going to be more people upset. Bloop, bloop, bloop. So, I'm not afraid of that shit. But we really should have seen the picture. We need to know. So there's no speculation. So there's no, see, there's this group of people that just can't help themselves. Everything's a conspiracy. It's not that there aren't conspiracies that go on, because, you know, I mean, there's the other side who consider people who think there's any kind of conspiracy going on in any place are weirdos. So they call them conspiracy theorists. Like, that's a bad thing. There are a few things that I know the government's conspired to do against us, you know, and they think is good for us and this and that. Like the covering up of Roswell. People are, you know, they forget that it wasn't created. This so-called wreck, the accident, the saucer, and all that, it wasn't created by any civilians. It wasn't created by us here in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. The Army itself reported finding a disc-shaped craft and bodies that they recovered. They reported that for 2 days before they changed their mind and said, no, 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 we're just kidding. It's a weather balloon. It didn't take them that long. Let me tell you, the first guy who came upon this stuff was an intelligence officer, a major, trained observer, trained order giver, trained organizer, and very, very he has a lot of integrity. People like that. They have integrity. You know. So he comes back and he says, hey, this is nothing I've seen before. He even stops and shows his son some of the material. Son remembers. He goes back and tells the general, that's why the general reported to the radio and the news and everybody that they found a saucer, because he believed his intelligence officer. And now, all of a sudden, as if the major didn't know what he was talking about, it's a balloon. Go figure. So that's, you know, kind of one of the things that people, you know, there's two sides to that camp. One of them is kind of just why people even not, why people just dismiss things like that automatically, I'll never know. I mean, to me, the proof that there's life in other places, on other planets, and other solar systems, we're here. Okay? We're here. And there are a lot of galaxies older than ours by billions of years, if not millions, hundreds of millions of years. So, go figure. If you want to be so arrogant as to think we're the only life in the universe, that's fine and dandy. That's the way the believers, that's the way, most of the theists are anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. They think it's okay to make fun and ridicule people that believe that there's actual real corporeal life possible, and the fact that they believe there's a magician. Go figure. But let's get back to Bin Laden and already Bin Laden. Anyway, really though, Obama, come on, bring our troops home. The job is done. It's like they say, mission accomplished. And in this case, it's a true story. This will be a real feather in your cap. You start just bringing the troops home, because we're done. We're not doing anything over there. If you go to Kabul, the women are still walking around in their burqas. They're still walking around like they're being told what to do. Even Karzai okayed a law saying it's all right to marry off 9-year-old girls. So what are we doing there? And then I saw, you gotta watch this one show called, it's a documentary basically called Restrepo. It'll give you a real good idea of what our fellows are facing. A little group of soldiers they stick up in this place, one of the most dangerous places in Afghanistan apparently. And they got a platoon up there. Not even a battalion. It's just crazy. I don't get it. I really don't freaking get it. Either do the job or don't do the job. We can sweep those freaking mountains. Get rid of them bastards. We just need enough feet on the ground. Either that, or let's go home. Bring them home. Bring them home. Especially Iraq. Please. Barry, you know as well as I. We shouldn't have been there in the first place. So why are we still there? We've done what we can do. It's up to them now. They need to build their own infrastructure, not us. Anyway, that's what I think of the news about Bin Laden and some of the things that have actually been accomplished. Nothing, unless you bring the boys home. You bring the soldiers home, you bring our fellows home, our women, our girls, our men, whatever. Bring them home. Think of how much money we'll save, for one thing, after the first month, for crying out loud. No $1 million or $10 million every time we shoot a rocket, etc., etc., etc. Then, as before, there's a lot of bases that we can just close down because we don't need to be there. Germany's one of them. Why are we in Germany? Why do we sit there and spend money having a base in Germany? There's no reason for it. Italy's another one. No one's ever messed with Italy that we know of, that they didn't want messed with. Except maybe during the Punic Wars, but that was Roman Carthage. That's a different story. Unbelievable. Yeah, I think we have bases in England too. Now that's nuts. Why? Well, why would we have bases in the United Kingdom? Come on. How many billions do you spend on these bases? Bring them home. Reopen some of the American bases so we can really do some war games and practice and keep things secret, not tell everybody in the world what we have. We can always keep our treaty with NATO, but we don't have to be there all the time. Anyway, that's my that's for this. That's for like for this month, I guess. The new month, May. It's not April Fool's, but it was May Day, and Obama blam on May Day right now. We're all pretty close to it. We'll see you later. Have a good night. I'm Gerald, but I'm just an Earthling, right? What? What? Just my kitties. Give me a bad time. Good evening. Signing off.